Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. I looked back at my videos and streams for the last week, and did I not do a Hanging with Mangg last Sunday? I mean, I saw that I did the Metroid Factorial Randomizer last Saturday. That already seems like an eternity ago. I can't remember. I mean, they all blur into each other. I really can't remember. That seems so wild that I would have just forgotten or missed out. Like, it's crazy. But anyways, we're doing one now. And we are playing some Overwatch 2. Overwatch 1.5, some say. Overwatch 0.5, some say, because they've removed features. You know, who's to say, really? I mean, so far I'm enjoying it, but it's really it's Overwatch. I mean, it's not really that much different. It's good. I mean, I like the graphic improvements and the UI improvements. I like some of the character changes. I dislike other character changes. It's essentially just a big patch for Overwatch. Overall, the game just seems a lot more hectic. It seems a lot more fast-paced and hectic. I'm not sure exactly what contributes to that or anything, but yeah, I feel like I gotta turn down the sound a little bit.
Only in unity will we find strength.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, so this week on this channel, we finished up one of the RimWorld playthroughs. So, I started uploading The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow, which is a little creepy folk horror point-and-click adventure. We would have had 2 videos of that, except it literally slipped my mind to record a second one until it was like Friday night, and I was like, alright, fuck it. I guess I'll just upload some more of the randomizer stuff. So yeah, we're almost done with the SNES randomizer videos.
Our protector's duty is never done.
And so after that's done, I'm going to be uploading some Factorial, my first Factorial recorded playthrough. as I talked about last night on Two Brothers Play, I've actually been recording a second Factorio playthrough. But this one I really don't plan to upload unless, I don't know, either I run out of other things, which will probably never happen, or people desperately want more Factorio videos, which is also really unlikely to happen. But it's a playthrough with a couple of the biggest mods, Space Overhaul and Crestorio 2, along with Rampant. So it's a massive, big, crazy playthrough that takes hundreds of hours. And I'm just recording the whole thing in, like, big 3-hour chunks. Just because I like talking. That was pretty good. I'm glad we got that on stream. Hey, would you look at that? That's pretty fucking sweet, I gotta say. Very cool. Right, what was I talking about? Factorio, yeah. So that'll happen this week. You'll see some Factorio videos finally. If you've been watching some of us, like Lego and I play it, or blah blah blah, and you don't know what the hell's going on, that series, I finally explain everything from the start. It's sort of outdated now as far as my own knowledge and skills are concerned, but, you know, you can learn along with me a little bit there. So, yeah, this week, the end of this SNES randomizer, start of Factorio, and more of the excavation of Hobbs' Barrow, which I will record more of. That's that. Over on the Exploring series, I released the second part of the Rainbow Serpent. Again, it was broken up into 2 parts only because I just didn't have the energy in me to make it all one video a couple weeks ago. So it got separated, and there it is. Not hitting shit. Sometimes I fucking rock as Hanzo, and then other times it's like, how do arrow work? Anyways, yeah. So Rainbow Serpent, I don't think part 2 did too well. You know, it's always curious with like environmentalist stuff and you know, really like green messaging and, you know, pro-environmentalism and things like that. I mean, no one is, like, anti-Earth, really, among the common people. Like, that doesn't, But it's certainly, like, an interest, I think. There are people more interested and more invested in environmentalism, and people less interested. And I think, like, if you talk to my parents, I think they get they have the general idea that, like, all young people, you know, the Gen Z, they're all very pro-environmentalism, and they're all very woke. But I think if you look at, like, my audience, which is largely probably Gen Z, doesn't seem like too many are that into environmentalism, or they're not interested in any sort of fictional media that is created with that thought in mind. Maybe saying all these things and generalizing off of one SCP article is not the... Fuck. I don't know. It's hard to say. All I know is part 1 did pretty good as far as view count is concerned, and then part 2 really dropped off. And I didn't look at view durations for part 1 or anything, but
please.
Hard to say. I mean, it's all hard to say all around. It's not... I mean, generally, when you do a 2-part video, you're going to see a drop-off for part 2, no matter what. Even if it's... I think even Ogier. I'd have to check, but I imagine Ogier part 2 has less views.
Nothing breaks that I cannot mend.
I mean, I like the Rainbow Serpent just because I thought it was, you know, cool. You have a giant serpent going around smashing, and Chinese are dropping nukes on it and stuff, and they've got this crazy, weird, anomalous weapon cannon blasting it, and... But, you know, the author wrote it... The author wrote the whole thing kind of out of anger at... like the Australian government during the bushfires and stuff, and just kind of anger at governments and corporations in general, due to, you know, them not caring about Earth and the environment and blah, blah, blah. And so it's just like, you know, you can kind of tell, right? Like, you can kind of tell that that's where this article originated from, is that kind of anger. And, and so it's like, yeah, okay, I mean, you have this serpent here that is representative, essentially, of that anger. I mean, using Aboriginal mythology as a backdrop, sure, but it's certainly representative of that anger. And it's like, okay, nothing can stop it. You know, it is just, no matter what you try, it's literally unstoppable. Your only hope is to do better and care about the Earth. I can see why people might not care for that, because it is just a little ham-fisted. Even though the premise is cool, and I'm surprised we don't have more examples of just like kaiju giant monster Godzilla sort of stuff rampaging and the Foundation working to stop it with, you know, SCP twists and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so I can understand why people might not care for it. But regardless, this week I worked on another sort of world-ending SCP, 6217, The Emergence. It's about a collapse of chemistry scenario. You'll have to watch or read to find out what all that means. But yeah, it just starts with a little like lake in Ohio and some little towns nearby, and spreads from there as chemistry collapses. And the article is related very much to a specific group of interest, but I don't, you know, that's a big spoiler, so that has to be hidden. I had to pick a thumbnail pretty carefully because I didn't want to... It was tricky. It was like, I want this to be eye-catching. I want people to click on it, but the eye-catching, clicking sort of thing is a big spoiler. So, had to be a little tricky there. So I went to AI. I went to Midjourney, and I generated my own little thumbnail. I don't know how eye-catching it is or anything, but I thought it was pretty good. Fucking Sombra. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So that's that, you know? And the other couple videos for October should be fairly spooky. And of course, I'm going to do another Lovecraft. I did a poll on Twitter, seeing what people would most like to read. Hear me read out of 4 choices. And the winning choice was definitely Dunwich Horror. You know, originally I was hesitant because I felt it was just kind of too similar to Color Out of Space, but no, apparently a lot of people like Dunwich Horror no matter what. Oh, fuck. Ha! And so that's that. That's all that. That is all there is to say about that.
You can't escape death.
Yesterday, I had a randomizer event. An archipelago randomizer event. We had 7 people. Seven people across 6 different games. I'm a dead man.
Hey, it's Keiko.
I'm good to go. The shadows coalesce.
Fuck. Roadhog's nuts nowadays, man.
Another day, another battlefield.
7 people across 6 games. We had one person playing Super Metroid, one person playing Super Mario 64, one person playing Ocarina of Time, one person playing Minecraft, one person playing Factorio, and 2 people playing Slay the Spire. Can't aim for shit. I hate Baptiste. Easily one of my least favorite characters. And I can't really say why. I'm not sure. It's just not a fun healer. I don't even tend to heal with him because it's just these little grenades and shit. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was very cool. Everyone enjoyed it. And I'm never going to do it again. To clarify, I'm never going to do it again in person. I would gladly love to do it online, you know, with anyone that was interested. But in person, it was just a nightmare. Because I had to set up 7 computers. It was 5 desktops, 2 laptops. I had to cram it all into my dining room. 5 ultra-wide monitors. All the keyboards, mice, surge protectors, extension cords, lugging things up and down stairs, and then after it's done, you gotta take it all back apart. And it's like I'm spending more time setting up and taking down for the event than the actual event takes for time. And I mean, that's probably true for a lot of big events, but, you know, usually you might have help. And it's like, sure, I could have had people help me move computers down, but it's like, these people are coming over for like 3 hours because no one has any free time on the planet. And they have kids and, you know, spouses and lives and blah, blah, blah. So they're just like, all right, we'll pop over for a few hours. And it's like, yeah, okay. You know, because everything had to be ready to go. For the, you know, just so we could get as much done in 3 hours as possible. And it's just, what a fucking nightmare it was. And then, like, you know, I gave myself time during the week and I was like setting up and working on it and blah, blah, blah. But then the time comes and it's like shit's not working, things aren't all in order, and then I'm the only one that knows how this shit works. No one else knows how Archipelago works. No one else took the time to like mess around with it on their own and practice, because blah blah blah. People with lives don't do stuff like that. So I'm going from computer to computer, like, okay, let's get this working, okay, and then, you know, problems arise, because Archipelago isn't really perfect. that you had to sort out like day of, and ugh. So yeah, getting to the point of playing was nightmarish. Once we went going, there weren't really too many issues. Like I said, everyone enjoyed it. I played Factorio. I got screwed. Like, it was absurd. I felt like I was so quickly surrounded by biters, and I just, yeah. I mean, I lasted like 2 hours before it was just done. And it was really shit. That's why I was complaining last night on Two Brothers Play, because I did Factorio Randomizer again last night, and it was like perfect. I mean, it's like too easy, basically. Like I had a couple biter nests pop up. I still didn't have walls or turrets. I didn't need them. And it's just like this paradise of randomization, and I'll probably beat it next week when we stream. So, yeah, what a difference. I don't know what happened yesterday. That was shit. And then, yeah, people started to leave, which is perfectly fine, I guess, in the randomizer. Because you can just release all the person's items from their game. It's not really great, because it's better if things just continue organically, but it is what it is. And so Lego was playing Super Metroid. He eventually switched with me to play Factorio for a bit because he got stuck in Metroid. So I played Metroid for like the next hour or something. I still didn't beat it because it just... he was like too far behind. And, you know, people were leaving, so it was just like, I'm not going to sit here and just finish Super Metroid by myself. But I could have. And so the only person that actually beat their game was the person playing Minecraft, because he's had thousands of hours in Minecraft, so he did very well and completed it. So I mean, yeah, like I said, everyone liked it. I think Slay the Spire was sort of a weak choice for those two people. It kind of reminded me of Donkey Kong Country 3, where it's like randomization doesn't really alter this game that much, you know? Like Minecraft, he had to go for a while without like basic stuff, you know, like basic weaponry or a bed or a bucket or, you know, things like that. So that really changes how you play the game. Or the person playing Ocarina of Time, you know, or Super Metroid, or me in Factorio. Like, it's very different from normally playing. But Donkey Kong Country 3 or something, it's just not too different. So I don't know if they would pick the same thing again, but, you know, it seems like most people don't have that diverse of a selection of games that they're really familiar with. Honestly, I stand a little alone in that category. That there are, like, more games on the list I could do than can't do. Let me go back to the list. These are the games that I would be willing to do in a randomizer. Dark Souls 3. Donkey Kong Country 3, I could do. I wouldn't really pick it, but I could. Factorio. Final Fantasy, I could do. You know, I've practiced a little bit. Hollow Knight. Link to the Past. Raft, I could do. I've played through it. Risk of Rain 2, again, I don't think it being that randomized. Like, it's like Slay the Spire, sort of. Rogue Legacy, similarly. Secret of Evermore, Slay the Spire. Super Metroid and Link to the Past crossover. Super Metroid. And Time Spinner. I'm like halfway through a normal playthrough of Time Spinner for like my first time. And already I could see how cool a randomizer could be, just like any Metroidvania. So I think I probably could do Time Spinner, but I don't know. Maybe on like an easier difficulty where it doesn't take away like essential stuff. But playing through it, it was actually kind of interesting so far. There aren't that many things that are like progression gating items or like techniques, you know? Like Hollow Knight has a lot of that stuff. Or, you know, Super Metroid has a lot of that stuff where it's just, you can't do this unless you get this first. Super Metroid has a lot of tricks and stuff, and I'm sure Hollow Knight has tricks, but It didn't really seem like that from Time Spinner. It's a cool game. So that was a lot. I mean, that's a lot of games. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 14 of these games I could theoretically do. I would say probably 9 or 10 I'd probably be pretty comfortable doing. Whereas it seems like most people had 2, maybe 3 that they would be comfortable with. And yeah, I don't. It's crazy to me because looking over the list, I was like, "Oh, this is a really diverse collection." Dark Souls 3, Donkey Kong Country 3, Final Fantasy, Hollow Knight, Minecraft, um, StarCraft 2, Super Mario 64. I mean, there's a lot of choices here, but yeah, very few people probably game as much as I do. So I guess I have to try to understand their perspective. But at the very least, we had 7 people, and everyone had a game that they could pick. Not everyone was super, like competitive level ability at their games. Neither one of the people that did Slay the Spire beat the game. They died a number of times. But, you know, everyone liked it, like I said, so it was good. I'd really love to do it online with like screen sharing and stuff like that and just get people together and hang out. But yeah, my friend group, we don't ever do like we don't do anything online. And I and everyone kind of expressed interest in doing some Archipelago online, which was very unusual. And I think it appeals because everyone gets to pick their own game rather than like, okay, we're all playing Call of Duty, you know, or whatever. You know, not everyone is into Call of Duty or Tabletop Simulator. That's another thing we've tried in the past to do online, but people are just, you know, people just prefer playing board games in person. But Archipelago is a different beast, and I think it's just going to continue to grow in more popularity, which is great. They're adding, you know, more and more games. I think they're about to add Pokemon Red and Blue. Like the code for it has gone into the source code for the next release or something. I'm not exactly sure how it all works, but basically, the next Archipelago release, whenever that is, should include Pokemon Red and Blue. um, so that's another thing. I think a lot of people, especially my age, are familiar with Pokemon Red and Blue. It's a long game for people that aren't speedrunners, and you know, I don't think they're like especially. But I, you know, I mean, I could probably do a Pokemon Blue randomizer and stumble my way through it. Also, really looking forward to whenever Lufia 2 Ancient Cave gets released. That'll be awesome. Apparently, Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide is being worked on or something. So Final Fantasy VI in Archipelago would be even more awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's just very cool, and you're going to continue to see Archipelago on this channel for who knows how long in various forms, either with Lego on stream or I do different combinations of games. It's going to be something I continue to come back to, regardless of other people. But all right, I think that'll do us. So, yeah, this week, the end of the SNES randomizer stuff, some more excavation of Hobbs Barrow, and the start of some Factorio videos. And on the Exploring series, we have SCP-6217, The Emergence, which is another hour-and-a-half long video. Yeah, I mean, everything I'm picking now is just massive, you know. Because all the SCP-7000 stuff is long, and yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But it's good. I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. See you fine folks next week.